And we're back. It's Thursday here on the Ascend Business Show. Today we are going to finish the three-part series on the pillars of social selling. Today we get into some big topics that we haven't really seen covered too much online before. So we're going to talk to you about how to create and execute a sales process for social selling and also create a content marketing plan that helps and accelerates your sales. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Power to pay. Power to pay.
All right, welcome to the Ascend Business Show. Today is Thursday, and we're here to talk to you about the pillars of social selling. We've just wrapped up the last 2 days. We covered how to create a focused list and market strategy, how to create messaging that is engaging, that starts the right conversation with your buyer. And we're going to finish today with building and executing a sales process that's scalable for your organization with social selling that can connect to your CRM, by the way. We'll show you how to do that. And why content marketing is essential for your salespeople. So, Bill, my co-host, welcome to the show. Good to see you.
James, good to see you. Welcome, listeners. Today has been a power week for us. Hopefully a power week for you. It's been a great week. We've got so much for you today. We're going to hit on one of my favorite topics, sales process. So I'm a little giddy today. I got to be honest with you.
Well, I'm excited too. We got some really cool giveaways and goodies for you today. So if you can't stick around for the whole show, which typically runs about 45 minutes, we're going to give you one right now. And then we're going to have another one later in the show. So I hope you stay for both. But one thing that we keep talking about, and if you haven't taken us up on this yet, I'm going to give you another chance right now. But this is huge. If you want to get more leads right now that you already have, you don't even know it though. That's the problem. You just don't know. Is get this free lead acceleration kit. It's a PDF. It's got about 12 pages in it. It's an action guide. And if you just do about 45 minutes of work with this for working on your business, it's going to help you look at all these conversations, all these relationships that you've built, you've put the time into. You're going to look under this rock over here and this rock over here and be like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this person. We haven't talked in 6 months. Good. Time to follow up with them again. Call them like today or build it. Make sure you do it in the next few days. But this is going to help you refresh your memory of who you can talk to that you already have a connection with that probably needs your product or service. And you can re-engage them and say, hey, life got busy. My life's different in the last 6 months. Yours is probably too. How are you? So take us up on this. Download this kit. You're going to love it. I guarantee you it will boost your leads. I bet you can get 50 new leads from this today. So challenge me on that. See if you can't. I'll take you up on the challenge and let us know how it works for you. So just text the send to that number and you will get it right now in your inbox. So with that, we're going to talk about executing a social selling sales process. Bill, we are on social media a lot. I can't tell you. I just don't know. Really, I don't know. I don't know if there's a person that we follow or I've seen really go into a process that not just one person can use, but a whole company could potentially use for social selling. Have you?
I don't think so. I think the better ones are trying to figure it out. I think most of the best organizations that we know have developed a sales process, hopefully aligned with how their buyers or their customers or clients buy. But I think using social media and digital channels, the buying process has changed. So I'm just a big alignment person. Why would you want to work harder than you had to? And the better salespeople are engendering more respect and credibility because they're aligned with how the buyers are buying. And the buyers, we talked about this all week with our audience, is that they love social. They don't need the coffee talk meeting. They'd rather engage and learn a little bit about you and get some free insights and connect with the thinking partner. So, but I would just tell you that any organization, any individual, if you wanted an easy layup on how to build your business, the data is very powerful on sales process. Just by acknowledging one and following one regularly, organizations are experiencing anywhere between a 10 to 15% increase in top line revenue. Who wouldn't want that? Right. And I think it's really important too, for those on this session today who are in a kind of a seller doer role, seller consultant, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a consultant, whether you're in professional services, where you're a subject matter expert / consultant, but you also have a number, right? You need to be able to manage those energies, right? Of, number one, clients, number one, number two, I got to get more business. Number three, this kind of social media networking thing. And then I'm always going to have client compliance and administration, which always becomes very alluring because there's always administration to be done. So therefore I am busy, therefore I am productive because I'm doing my administration. So one of the things that we're going to talk a lot about today is how to not only do a sales process, but how to be productive when you're engaging in a sales process in social media. That's the key. And that's one of the, hopefully one of the things you're getting out of these sessions. And when my clients are enjoying our involvement is that we're not just giving them the thing, we're taking time off the table. Yeah,
that's exactly right. Because if you're watching this, right, we're all in the same boat. No one's different. We know you're busy. We're busy too. Everyone is, and that's actually the problem. In my experience, and from everyone I've talked to since the pandemic started, with which put pretty much almost everybody in a virtual remote business environment, I feel like it's gotten busier with things to do. And it's almost like on this hamster wheel of like, it just got faster and the treadmill ain't stopping, baby. It's just flying. So with that, it's just like, man, how do we wrap our arms around a sales process that's virtual, that's remote, and that's heavily now focused on social? Because we know that the trend is going in that direction and it's not going to stop. It's actually going to get bigger. If you look at the Gen Z generation and the millennial generation, that is their preferred method to buy. So we got to have a strategy. We got to have a process, and we got to really figure this out, because this is something that is going to only continue to grow, be not a fringe idea or strategy for bigger companies today. It's going to become a mainstream way to do selling. It's changing. Yes, you can still do the boiler room, crush the phones and do auto dialer. I have companies that I work with that do that, and we help them with those things. Yeah. We can do that. But the attention today is here. Over 50% uptick in usage since the virtual, the pandemic started is gone to here. So if we're not putting our brand and our thought leadership and offers and ways for our audience to engage us on this, we are missing the boat. So I'm going to show you some cool stuff in a little bit on even how to do this really in a really fun way, but we want to get right into it. So I'm going to show you some graphics here. But this is a typical or a very basic, I should say, sales process you could use, or a funnel you can make for any social platform: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. The idea really hasn't changed too much, but let's just use this as LinkedIn as an example. You have, let's say, 1,000 prospects in your list that you built with us 2 days ago, and now you have new connections that are connected with you from that list. You want to have conversations that are started, and remember, conversations, not pitches, right? Conversations first. Having the right conversation will lead to some sales calls booked. And from there, you can build and get new clients. So this is a pretty straightforward 5-step funnel process that you want to have in your business and your organization. You can finesse and fine tune maybe the stages there, but in essence, that's the basic version of what your sales funnel should look like. In a second, we'll talk to you about the actual process, but that's the conversion funnel that you're going to want to build.
Well, and one of the things I want our audience to know is that there's a reason and a rationale, particularly in the meat of that process, that graphic that James just shared with you. One of the some different things, I think the advantage of selling socially is there's never been a more creative, productive way to nurture leads. If you had to think about either how you're doing it now or how we're doing it over the last 5 years, we would either email a white paper, send someone a few nuggets from a research report, maybe FedEx a brief or some article of interest, invite someone to a seminar. Hey, come with me to this 2-day conference in LA and at 9 months from now. And now it's number one, we all know the time has been compressed, but there's more available to make that initial first connection. So that's what we're going to talk about today too, is, what do you do first? What do you do second? What do you do third? But there's never been a better way. And that's what I would tell organizations today that are looking to bridge this make this digital adoption real around digital selling and social selling in their organization is that there's never been a better way to help your organization and the individual salespeople you have stand out from the crowd. But there's certain requirement. There's a price of admission for that. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But that's good news.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting some engagement here from our viewers. So thanks, Shireen. I appreciate your enthusiasm. We love it too. Conversations, not pitches. We've had enough pitches. We get them all the time. And if you hadn't watched yesterday, we really recommend you go back and watch yesterday, because we went in the weeds and we actually used some real-time messages of pitches that don't work. And they're actually they're professional. Actually, they weren't that like salesy, but they were still incorrect. And so we showed you how to tweak those and make better messages so you can have better conversations. So thanks for Nuri for chiming in on that. Yeah. So listen, everything we're going to show you here is not rocket science. It's actually going to make a lot of sense. It's like, why didn't I think about that? Or I have thought about that. I just never thought about it and put it into a process. Well, that's why we're here today. We're going to show you how to do this very simply. And I will tell you, before we show you this next graphic that's going to be really helpful for you, this is where the rubber meets the road. Because we work with very, very smart clients, and we know a lot of brilliant people. And we've been in sales for over 20 years. But this is where the rubber meets the road. You can have the best strategy, you can have the best intentions, but if you don't execute a sales process daily, guess what? You're not going to make any sales. Sorry to tell you that, but that's the truth. So at the end of the day, you still have to do something, and we're going to show you what to do. And what's great, the great news about this, guys, is this could take you 2 hours a week. If you did this for 2 hours, like super focused in a week, you would see more progress than you most likely do right now on social media, because you now have a system that you weren't using before. So I hope that got you excited, because we're excited to share this with you. We've never shared this on a live stream before. And this is frankly stuff that we teach our clients, guys. So you're getting some exposure here to what we teach our clients every day on how to do this. So here we go. This is a sales process that's in a CRM. So if you use a CRM like Pipedrive or Salesforce or HubSpot, or we have actually our own proprietary Ascend CRM our clients use, it's amazing. But this is the crux of what you want. This is a dummy demo sales process, but you can see, guys, from left to right, there's basically 5 steps to social selling. It's 1, you want to become, a connection. LinkedIn uses the word connection. Friends is used on Facebook. Follower is used on Instagram. But you want to be connected so you can interact, right? That's the first step. You want to earn the right to connect. The next thing you want to do is move to engagement. Give to get, right? Give first. Have a giving hand is always full, as my partner here, Bill, says. And it's so true. Go engage on their content, guys. I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a second. Go engage on their content and participate in the effort they did to put good content out on their profile. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to engage back. Next step is get in an active direct message conversation, not pitch, conversation. And then once it's in the right place, if it's the right time, ask them to meet. Ask them to get offline and have a meeting with you, and then set that meeting. So this is really, you can actually systematically design your sales process like this and move people from left to right and really see in real time your business move forward. And Frank, and it's very simple. You can drag and drop your name tags in this CRM that we use, but this is it. This is the sales process you want to use every day or a few times a week to social sell. I'm going to let Bill comment real quick before I show you some examples.
Yeah. So one of the things that we'll get into the nuances of the process that James just shared with you is what to do and when. That's always critical. And so first off, one of the things we don't want to minimize is the importance and the manner in which you're going to achieve those first connections, particularly on LinkedIn. We're very deferential and respectful. You need to earn the right. And even before that, we talked about list building yesterday, is that you want to make sure the folks that you want to connect with are relevant to you and are meaningful. You're not just trying to build a list, or you're not just trying to add connections. There's an intentionality around it, because that's something that the other person is going to take away. So that's important. The second thing about kicking this off is, well, if you want someone to connect with you, you have to answer the why. One of the things that we asked our audience to do earlier this week was send us your 10 top reasons, valuable reasons to meet with you. And let's just say, if you don't at least have 2 to 3 or 4, then you're not going to be successful no matter what brand of selling, no matter what platform that you use. So that's important. So it's important to build your own credibility, reasoning, and messaging, which I'm so glad we talked about earlier this week too, is to make that first connection. So you want to earn the right for that. Once you have that first connection, now the fun starts in terms of how you want to engage with that individual. And the compass for that, the guiding light for how you want to engage, is their title, their role, the industry that they're in, maybe a little bit of the size of the organization, and maybe a little dust of where they are, sprinkle in some dust around their geography, if that matters. So you have this kind of initial hypothesis of value or an approach that you want to start working into your messaging to create this hypothesis of value as you engage. Because people are a little leery today. I say people, business people on any of these platforms, of who wants to connect with them. And the 2 most important words you can take away from the session today as it relates to deeper engagement are view profile.
Yep. Exactly.
One of the things that you're looking to us for is, hey, give me the goods, guys. Tell me what it's going to need. Tell me what it's going to take for me to be successful. 2 words, view profile. In a minute, think about the last person who asked to connect with you. What did you do? You might have just said no because your cup is full, or you might have just said yes because, hey, this is the world we're in. The more, the merrier. Other of you might be a little skeptical or interested or curious. So what do? You click that little live link that says view profile to figure out who this person is. And here's what the average business person is thinking. Are they spamming me? Do they have something to offer? Are they trying to sell something to me? That natural cynicism, it's human nature. It's not bad.
Right. Yeah.
Person on the platform.
The first thing we think of when we see that stuff, because we're just so used to it. It's just that's on average, that's what you usually get.
So, we make it look easy in terms of that process James laid out. Certainly it's all in the CRM, and that tactically and executionally it's easy.
Yep.
But the piece there, what we want to kind of share with you is the things that are going to kind of grease the skids for you as you go through the process to make it more relevant for you. So really work on your profile. We're going to have sessions on that, on how to build a profile. We actually did a session, I thought a networking session a couple of weeks ago that went really, really, really well. But you want to make sure that when you create your profile, you're not creating it along LinkedIn's standards. You want it to create your profile as if you are a reputable consultant and you have a point of view. what you stand for, why clients value your involvement in their business, what your
Mhm.
organization stands for, what problems are you solving, what are you concerned about, what are
Yep.
you interested about, where do you have a point of view? Hey, I'm seeing this, and darn the torpedoes, we've got to move in this direction, depending on the industry. So that has to be on your profile, and get all your accolades up there too. I think for those of you who are don't want to be too self-promotional, there's a difference between professional and promotional. Get your associations up there, get your degrees, your licensure, your any professional accolade, get it up there. Put the dates and the times and anything you're involved in, because we're reflecting our humanity now, and that's one of the great things about our process. And if you felt this in our personality, James and I as a team, this is kind of how we live it, right? And you have the opportunity to live it on LinkedIn, to be professionally, but also personally, a good communicator about what you do and what you stand for. So let me kind of be quiet there. I feel like I'm rambling, but remember that concept view profile as you want to engage, to make it easy, make it productive, make sure you're bringing some value, and they can see that value. Someone can see that value as they hit view profile and look at your profile on LinkedIn on a small mobile device, where you got to have impact quickly.
I'm going to use a quote that you just said, because I thought it was super awesome. And I got to put this up on a banner so you guys can see this, but this was great. It's so true, though. We reflect your humanity. I'm going to just put this up. So good. Today's marketing is just that. We reflect your humanity. People are done with the BS, right? We've seen enough of that. We know what it is. We can see it a mile away. But when we see authenticity and professionalism and expert insight to our business, it comes across very clear. And that's what we keep iterating here, guys, is that's what you want to do. That's ultimately the way you want to position yourself, converse online, and the quality of the conversations are amazing. They're so good, they're so rich, and they can get there very fast. One, because the person's so excited to actually have a meaningful conversation that they probably haven't had in a while on social, and you're giving them the opportunity to, and they have a lot to say. Believe me, they have a lot to say about that topic. They just haven't had a chance to get it out because no one created the space for it. So, I mean, this could game change with this approach we're sharing with you. It game changes your ability to build really valued relationships fast with the right ones that you'd want to do business with, because they fit the profile for who you can help, right? So, so what does this look like, right? What are the two components when we talk about engagement and content marketing? How does content marketing go with a sales process? I'm not familiar with that. I'm just used to either making phone calls, sending emails, and setting appointments and doing my pitch. Well, we're going to show you that is not the case anymore. And here's a couple examples of what we're talking about. So when you're online, this is what we mean by engaging. Is when you connect with somebody, whether they're on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, is go engage on their stuff. Engage means comment. So here's an engage. This is actually step 3 of a process we teach, but this is the connection that I made a while ago, and they posted some great content. Well, I'm going to give them some love and give a great comment back on their content. Now, couple things happen when this happens, guys. Look at the position of my comment in this person's post. What do you notice? I'm the top person here. When someone looks at this person's content, not to take away from them, but guess what? My name is right there on their content. That's not going away. That's there forever. So I got positioning on this person's content that, one, anyone that sees this is going to see me too. It's free marketing. But 2, Nick is going to love that I took the time to not do one of those auto comments that they give you to make, but I actually took the time to think about it and put a thoughtful response and put it there. When you get that kind of commentary on content, this, you've seen it. It's super appreciated. It's super likable. And guess what happens? Reciprocity happens. And this person, more likely than not, Nick. He's going to come check me out on my profile and see some of the content that I'm putting out. And hopefully he enjoys it. Hopefully it helps him. Hopefully it's giving value back. And that's what you're trying to do here is going from this, engaging on your connections profile, to this, where you're then putting out your own content a few times a week. Nothing crazy. You don't have to do it every day. And some people say that, but you don't have to, especially on LinkedIn. Only a couple times a week is fine. Put out some great content for your new connections that they would like to read about. Don't put anything out, right? We want to put out content that actually helps the connections that we're making here. And you only need to do once or twice a week. So you might want to get help from your marketing department on if you're not good with this and you need some help to get some content sharp and curated. You can use your corporate marketing department for that. I'm sure they would love to help you. I don't know of a marketing department that wouldn't want to do that for you. That's what they live for. They love helping you with that. But you want to have some great, either your own personal point of view, your own content, or just share your company's content with your spin on it, or share an article that means something to your audience and share your spin on it. But remember, no matter what, the thing that really comes through the most, that strikes a conversation the fastest, is sharing your point of view. And we talk about that all the time. We've talked about that on our podcast. We talked about it on the show. But share your point of view. Who cares if it's right or wrong? It doesn't matter. You want to talk to people that agree with you or strongly disagree with you, because they'll tell you that too, professionally. But you want to start a conversation. And when you share a strong, specific point of view, it's easy for people to jump into that, and they'll give you their 2 cents too. So
let's talk to everybody about how they can. Let's talk about the how versus the what, right? So the how is, think about, James and I probably are on minimum 6 or 7 industry newsletters, whether they be from large consulting firms, industry specific blogs, certain media outlets that are topic driven, that come to us, that are trends and data and insights and research that are relevant to not just what we do, but relevant to who in our patch would find it valuable. So one of the things we'd want to do is not have you belabor the process by, okay, well, Bill and James said, I got to do this like 2 to 3 hours a week, and now I got to sit and go find all this content. Set yourself up so the content can come to you, right? Any of these, I think about, not to plug any one source, McKinsey or EY or Deloitte or PwC or Boston Consulting Group, insurance newsletters, anything in the social media space, anything related to pharma or chemicals, the major associations in your industry, right? They all publish a newsletter. Get on that. Have those topics come to you and digest that, and then kind of let it wash over you. I used this concept before, hypothesis of value. Now, when this comes to you, it's streaming into your consciousness. It's seeping into your pores. You can't help but have a point of view. I think about the point of view James and I had a year and a half ago. We're kind of sitting around saying, hey, how do we leverage this? We got all this great technology. We got 2 sales guys here with 20 years of experience each. We love what we're doing. There's going to be a new way, a new wave. And I don't think we're going back. That was a conversation we had literally 15 months ago. So what are we going to do? So we started to get smart. We started to say, hey, listen, along this adoption continuum, certain individuals and organizations are going to jump on this bandwagon faster, some slower, and they're going to want some confidence. They're going to want a thinking partner to bring them along this continuum. Well, you want to be a thinking partner and a value creator and do all the things that we espouse. You got to have that knowledge. So that's what I would say is get yourself hooked up so this stuff comes to you automatically. I say this stuff. I'm talking about insights and really good data that comes to you to make it easy on you. So when you see something on LinkedIn, immediately a hair goes up and says, oh my gosh, I got to opine on that. And we've done that this week, both James and I, as folks have done that on the stuff that we're publishing as well. And then we're having this kind of tete-a-tete dialogue in that, because we're being able to kind of process what we're seeing and then add our opinion only because this is what we see and this is what's happening. And oh, by the way, here's a data point to back it up, which we all love. So
speaking of data points, I got one ready for you.
Lay it on us. Come on. I need some data.
Check this one out. Year-over-year growth in a unique site traffic is almost eight times higher for content marketing leaders compared to followers. And this is it, guys. I mean, this is the whole point, is people are looking for people that can talk about stuff that they need to know. Like I talked about this last week, right? When we delete almost 99% of our emails today, but you know what? The ones that I open are the ones that are very, very specific about a particular issue or problem or new approach to something that I care about. I will open that email every single time and be super curious to see what they have to say. So good content does that, guys. Good content on video, posts. It can be short, long form. I will tell you, I've seen all versions of content. Video is very good, no doubt. Video content, arguably, statistically, is very, very, very good. It's probably king at this point, and there's a lot of data we could probably show you here to say that. But that said, if you're a writer and you like to maybe blog or just have some long posts, share what you know, share what's on your mind, share your point of view, because if it's written well and it's got some thought-provoking things in it that help us, people will read it. People will stop the thumb scroll and check it out and engage with you. So,
hey, you know, I was thinking, James, and I don't know if it's I'm thinking hopefully it's appropriate for this audience, but maybe we give them a window into, hey, if you're thinking about, I think about variety too, as you're engaging, right? Whether it be articles of other interests, articles that you have found that your organization has put together, any post that has a paragraph or two on what you believe, and maybe put a graphic to it and post it. We've been doing it for years. One of the other things too, if you want to build engagement and connection, what James and I do is we build and we host executive briefings. And here's what an executive briefing is. It's a conversation, no more than 30 to 45 minutes, no more than 10 to 12 slides. And 95% of that dialogue is about the issue. It's about the community. 5% on us and what we're doing.
Yep.
It's about giving back to the community. There's a phrase that, I've come to know called, a giving hand is always full. And we're trying to give back to this community. That's why I think you're on this video today with us. That's a great way to build some thought leadership about a topic that is near and dear to the hearts of the prospects that you're calling on, that would have some of your own company's research, your point of view, some third-party research, identifying a problem, and then talking about some potential solutions.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing the uptick on that, because guess what? Guess what happens on an online briefing like that? A conversation. And
Exactly.
That's what you want, right? You want to build engagement with these folks. And we keep saying that word, but the how, the unique how and different how is use some of these other tools. I love the briefing concept, and you can have one at the ready. We can share with you some ways offline about how to build them. But literally, it's a very short presentation on issues, items of interest. You're identifying a problem, what you think of that problem, what the data has, the research has to say about it, and then maybe what your organization, how they're tackling that with your clients, which is a very small piece of this. It's about giving and not taking.
Yep.
So those are important. And you have one built. You can send a link immediately to someone and say, hey, listen, let's jump on a briefing right now. Send them your Zoom link. It's a differentiated way of building some engagement. It costs nothing, and you can probably deliver those conversations in 15 to 20 minutes. So give that a shot. It's working for us.
Absolutely. So if you guys are enjoying this show, by the way, please share this out or give us some feedback. We're going to have another fun little exercise right now of just some cool tech that we help clients with. And we're going to show you this right now. So if you pull out your phone, you can scan this QR code right here on live. You can scan this right now or on replay. And if you want a demo of how we do the sales process with companies and how we can set this up for you, we'll show you. Just scan this, fill out the form that you see there, and pick a time. And we can show you exactly how this works with setting up the right content, setting up the right process for you, how to execute it, and really get this into system for your business. Because I'm going to show you this one more time, just as a summary for today. But this is the sales funnel methodology that you want to be building for social selling for your business. it's just it's a math funnel, right? It's you have a defined list of prospects that fit where you want to serve and build brand and build market share. You want to connect with those that are coming to you and taking your invite. You want to start conversations with that group of people. And again, you notice that the numbers diminish. That's normal. We call that pipeline math, right? You want to build $1 million pipeline. This is how you do it. You got to build a top of funnel awareness first with where you want to build your business, and then let the numbers and the effort, whittle it down. But this is a very typical sales funnel you can have for social selling. And, from your conversations, which we'll hit up in a second here, just a quick recap from yesterday, how to have the right conversation leads to sales calls and new clients. It's that simple. And really what you want to do, guys, this is a CRM snapshot, but we can help you build this in your CRM, is you want to have buckets set up so that you can visually track each person's, sales funnel and leads, and really have this be a system, not just a random thing anymore in your business, but moving, connections and relationships across the board that turn into meetings for your company. It's very simple to follow. You can do this sales process on a daily basis, a couple hours a week, but you can systematically engage with intention and having the right conversation with about 100 people a week, guys, and have just a ton of pipeline for your business. And remember, you want to engage with your connections. Giving hand is always full. And you want to be putting out supplementary content that reinforces your thought leadership and points of view to those new connections. So just some—
Hey, James, two things. Can we go back to the sales process graphic?
Yes. This one?
No, the other one, the one that's just before that. There we go.
Yep.
So I just want to let the folks know that this is a process that we have seen using our methodology of social selling, particularly using LinkedIn. So it all starts here with 1,000 prospects and the new connections, typically the 300 new connections. These are percentages that we are experiencing, that our clients are experiencing. So the progression here that you're seeing is really a research study in the success of our clients that started out with a curated list of prospects, and then they had good messaging for their outreach, which converted to a high level of conversion for new connections, about a 30% conversion rate. And they're also converting that to 60 inbound conversations, and then sales calls, and then to clients. So what's the significance of each one of these steps? These triangles are the steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are important. More important are the inflection points in between, the nurturing. So the value of what James is sharing with you about posting content and engaging is really critical, because that's maximizing these conversions for you. So James, go ahead, go back to that post of my content with the bar chart.
Yep.
So what do we mean by that? I'm getting a little granular here, but we owe you this. This is a post that I actually made a month or two ago, as we do a lot of work in the insurance industry. And one of the things that the insurance industry is trying to do is move faster, grow their business, and grow their business through their distribution partners. So there was an article that I found that there was a CEO brief, and that there was a commentary about the future of business building in insurance. And I thought the article was really important, because all it did was interview some senior executives that said, okay, well, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to leave the lights on. We're going to work a little harder. We're going to execute. We're going to blah, 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 blah. And I posted this and I said, no, because that's not working. You're not creating the burning platform for change for how we're going to do this. You can't do this fast enough. Point in case, the average person can only achieve maybe 15 to 20 new connections on LinkedIn. And that's if you're doing it 4 or 5 hours a day. You can't move that fast with a little bit of support, or without a really great profile, or without a little great content, or a point of view. So what's happening in these industries is now all of a sudden these digital marketing departments are coming to the fore and being celebrated, because now they're helping accelerate this process. So that's why we've been saying, hey, post on others' content, have a point of view, post your own content, because it's helping you manage those inflection points to maximize your connections, maximizing your post-connection engagement, influencing your segue from engagement to conversation, and maximizing inflection point from the conversation to doing some business meeting of consequence proposal.
Boom. Nailed it.
Period.
Mic drop. So, I mean, that's it, guys. That really on a macro level, we did go in the weeds on some of this today to show you some practicality on how to do this. But this is it. I mean, if you follow these 3 videos that we did in the last 3 days, it will dramatically help you on how to get started with a true system and strategy to do social selling that seriously you can build $1 million pipeline and beyond on this easily if you just follow the process. And I just want to hit this one last time because this was so good, and I want to give one last ticket of value to you today. But this is really the 4-step process to create the right messaging when you're trying to talk and have a conversation with anybody online. The first step is, you want to, again, have some regard for the person, their company, or the industry. And Bill just really did a nice job of articulating that. Second thing is you want to introduce a problem or a hot topic that they care about, that's something that's relevant to them. Third is you want to pose a question. This is a big one. Most people, again, just going for the pitch and they don't build context first and really a conversation. Start with a question. They have a lot to share with you. They want to share it. Give them that opportunity. They're going to like you more for it. Everyone loves to be listened to. That people like to talk, right? So invite inquiry about the conversation. And you're also going to find out real quick too if you know what you're talking about or not. Because if you did your homework, the response should be received very well with this approach. And the last thing is then offer to connect and share insight. Well, hey, I'm really enjoying this conversation. Why don't we connect offline and have executive briefing? We can really go in deeper on what we're seeing and some recommendations that we are sharing with the industry, and would love your thoughts on it. What do you say? Boom. And you can take these conversations offline and have an awesome business conversation that they are going to love. So that's it. That's the 4 steps. Bill, any last thoughts on this?
I do. I just love that piece of dialogue that you just went through, James. I mean, that's the crux of it. And again, we've said this on every show. We're going to continue to say it. We are doing this as a team, right? We're carrying the bag, right? We're in the kitchen eating our own stuff. So we would never share with you something that's not working or any theory, right? This is not the era of theory. This is the era of engagement and action. And our promise to you all is, yeah, we'll talk about the how, but we're always going to give you the what. And hopefully today was an example of that. So I'm loving being with this audience. Thank you so much, James. Great job. Great to be on it with you.
Yeah, you too, Bill. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week with a new series on the Ascend Business Show. If you missed any of these, catch up this week. We'll send you some follow-up. But seriously, take a look at this. Learn. Give us some thoughts on how you've implemented. And make sure you get that lead acceleration kit. That's going to help you right away with some new pipeline. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next week.